From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big early mornings broadcast across the land, and I'm really excited you're joining me here with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. It's Sunday, and in this recording, we have the incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check coming in July. It's a monthly stimulus check delivered month after month, and we have big breaking news happening today about this monthly stimulus check. Then the second half of recording, we cut back to fifth stimulus and why we had incredible great news come out Friday that could lift your benefits on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits an additional 20% on top of what they're putting in fifth stimulus. And meantime, in the middle of this recording, we have the big news about thousands of dollars coming in your bank account, and we have a major update from IRS late Saturday. It's a great morning. I have so much exciting great news to deliver you. Let's get started with deliciousness, because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and this is Early Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. It's LALATE, and I hope you are doing wonderful. This is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we go over that fourth stimulus check, how much, when you get it, and how you get it, who gets it, and why there's breaking news in the last 24 hours, and what was the details and the news throughout the last week that changed the fourth stimulus across the board. Boy, oh boy, a lot of great news across the board for this one. Then we go to fifth stimulus in the second half of this recording. And there's a major shocker for this one when we're looking at that rising your benefits up for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. And that incredible shocker is that there could be another step up on top of that. Oh boy. And in the middle of the recording, we go over the incredible news that came out of Treasury about other money coming to you and when you're getting it. So make sure you subscribe. Boy, 400,000 subscribers. What an achievement. 1 year and a few days. Boy, it's just been an incredible run, and I've loved your viewership. And as we expand and we're covering crypto, and viewers are making a fortune on cryptocurrency by watching my crypto videos, I'm just loving where this channel's going, so thank you for the run. Make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get right to the breaking news. Fourth stimulus got a surprising twist on Friday, and I'll go over that twist. The fourth stimulus has two proposals, the House proposal and the Senate proposal. Let's compare and contrast and look at why that breaking news has now impacted the House proposal. So the fourth stimulus proposal from the House would be stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal is stimulus checks from now till December. If you're watching this show when it's airing for the first time as an instant premiere, which is how we do it on Early Mornings LALATE, then jump into the live chat and interact and say, which one do you like? Do you like the Senate or the House? But don't vote just yet, because we got to look at the amount of money. So what is the monthly payout? The House proposal is $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate proposal, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is this. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now here's the breaking news, which you're hearing for the first time on Early Mornings LALATE. And that breaking news is that there's now belief that we could be out of the pandemic by the time the vote occurs. The vote would be July, says Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. So if the vote is done in July, the House proposal of pandemic plus 1 year has no more pandemic. So when we used to talk about, 4 more months of the pandemic plus 1 year, 4 plus 12, 16 months of stimulus checks, that may no longer be a possibility, because we may be out of the pandemic by the House vote in July. That would mean you would just get 12 months of stimulus checks from the House. So now let's compare back to why this is interesting. Under the top line prediction, $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 for the Senate. But when we're looking at the House, it would be upwards of $13,000, but it would take you 12 months to get it. Nearly a $1,000 difference, but a 6-month time frame to get the money. Obviously, the Senate plan looks a lot better now. Nearly the same exact amount of money, just a $1,000 difference, but 6 months compared to 12 months to get the money. Now, what else do we know about forced stimulus? Let's go over all the details. Who gets it? You do. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, you get the forced stimulus. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get it. If you are household of 4 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, double it. Household 4, quadruple it. Is the stimulus check the same amount for adult dependents as children and everyone else? It is. When would we get it? Remember, I'm a reporter, so I'm just reporting the news. I'm not legislating. It's not my representation. It's their representation. They represent that it would be done in July with a vote in July. That means that the first stimulus check would start in the month of July and happen in the month of July. Then in August and happen in the month of August. There would be no waves of checks because they can't do a wave. This is a monthly stimulus check. It's not income. It's not taxable. But we don't know anything about child support. A 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process, and it's already underway. And there you go. That's your forced stimulus check updated 2021, but I got more news about it later in the video. And why these breaking, developing details are incredible, great news for you. Stay with me. They're in the second half of this recording. I have a full 30-minute jam-packed recording with news and money for you across this whole 30 minutes. So stay to the very end. But here's a preview of what's coming up after the commercial break. Coming up late in this recording, I'll be going over fifth stimulus, and that got a major surprise breaking detail on Friday. Because you know that fifth stimulus involves SSI and SSDI reform, where your benefits will be raised up to a new number, and then an inflationary benchmark will be added, which we thought would be 2 to 4%, and that your benefits would step up 2% at the end of this year. Oh. On Friday, a breaking news report surfaced that suggested that the inflation could be through the roof, and that would mean your lifetime benefits could absolutely be changed dramatically. Those details coming up in the second half of this recording. But now let's circle back to the incredible details about money landing in your bank account starting tomorrow. And new details just overnight from IRS about who's getting this money. First, let's go to rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and utility assistance, which is landing. And I had one viewer say, thank you, LA, for the tough love. I'm going to start getting that Monday, and I appreciate it. 2 other viewers sent me a very nice message, said, I got money for rent. Thank you, LA. So let me go over the details. Third stimulus, when it passed, I said to you, yes, you're going to get a $14 stimulus check, but the big money on the third stimulus is the $5,000 to $20,000 of rent, utilities, and SNAP benefits you need to get. And guess what? It's now hitting. So what is this? Let's go over rent first, and hopefully you have a pen and paper. Get that out. If you're watching this video and I go too fast, just replay that section of the video. All right, let's go over rent. Where do you get it? City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. How much rent are you entitled to? You generally get about $5,000 of rent for about 4 to 6 months of rent across the board. This is third stimulus, and it's coming to your cities, counties, and states last week and this coming week. Every city and county have different eligibility criterion, so reach out to it. The word you use is rent assistance because of COVID. You don't use the word stimulus. You can add Biden's Economic Recovery Act if you want. Also, utilities pays a couple $100 to a couple $1,000, and mortgage assistance is mortgage assistance and a couple thousand for utilities as well. Incredible, great news. Now let's turn to SNAP. SNAP is just incredible because it pays so much money, and it's been one of the real big successes of this channel. How much money can you get for SNAP? I had 2 viewers in the last 24 hours said, I just got SNAP because of you. I love it. So how do you get SNAP, first of all? Department of Agriculture, or call up 211. What is SNAP? It's money for food. It's money for food. How much money can you get? A family of 4 in Hawaii can now get upwards of $16,000. It's incredible. Because of a Trump executive order which raised SNAP 15% and a Biden executive order which raised it 15%, you now see incredible money across the board. So rent $5,000, SNAP $15,000, $16,000. Wow, we're only 10 minutes into this video, and I've already got you nearly $21,000. It's just incredible. But here's what you need to know. Throughout this recording, I'm going to refer to a few expressions, and those expressions are Donut moments. Donut moments are when money comes automatically and you don't have to do anything. You can put your feet up on the chair and eat that donut. It refers to that type of reaction. And then I'm going to talk about tough love moments. And why are tough love moments important? Because there's a pending deadline. This Monday, tomorrow, the end of Monday, your personal 2020 tax return is due if you need to get certain items that are covered in this video. So that is where that tough love moment's going to come up. But let me give you a tough love moment that has nothing to do with tax return, and it's right now in lieu of what I talked about for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And it's this. When third stimulus passed and provided that money, everyone was excited. But immediately legislators said the following. Fourth stimulus is not going to have it again. So understand this is a tough love moment. If you want rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or homeowners utilities, get it right now. Stimulus stampede is kicking. You're a purple hawk. Hawk, hawk. Get the money before anyone else. Because it's not coming back under fourth stimulus. It's not coming back under fifth stimulus. And to make the situation even more serious for you to understand, the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance are going to be lifted. They're going to be thrown away in September. So you will no longer have that protection. Why are they removing it? Because they want you to get this money for rent and utilities right now. There's also nonprofits that can get you rent for utilities as well. And I've gotten $250,000 for viewers for this money since I started covering this subject in November and October last year. They are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. I had one person in the live chat and I deleted the comment yesterday because it was a wrong comment that said, you can't get rent unless you're behind on rent. That's actually not true. That's 100% untrue. Every jurisdiction has different requirements, and nonprofits have their own requirements. They're not part of the government. So that's what's important to understand. Now, let's go to some donut moments. You deserve a donut. Well, it's a little early in the morning to eat a donut, but even so, maybe a cinnamon roll. Let's get to a donut moment. And it starts with one viewer's comment. Thank you, because my husband's owed $5,000 for this one, and this one's a big one. If your state paid you excess money from as an unemployment recipient due to computer glitch, no fault of your own, and asked you to return it back, guess what? The states have now been ordered to return that money to you. Yes, the Department of Labor, Marty Walsh, former mayor in Boston, has ordered the states to return the money back to you. So if you got money and had to return it back, it's coming back to you. How do you get it? You have to reach out. You don't have to do anything. It's a donut moment. But that viewer asked me, when is my state getting it? Every state is different. Every routing time is different. You can reach out to your state if you really want to know the exact date across the board. And then we have another donut moment, and this was updated late yesterday. Yes, that's how you stay with me, because I have breaking news all weekend long, all day long, and it came from IRS. IRS confirmed that it's splitting phase one into two sections about what I'm about to go over. IRS is returning thousands of dollars to millions of Americans who pay taxes on their unemployment benefits in 2020 when they didn't have to. Remember, the first $10,200 of unemployment benefits is tax-free from the federal government, not the state, the federal government. And so what's going on? This is what's going on. Thousands of dollars are landing in your mailbox in a white or beige envelope. Inside of it is a beige check, and the subject line is refund, and the payor is the IRS or Department of Treasury, and the payee is you. And it's thousands of dollars. Who's getting this first? Single filers who have not complicated returns, says IRS late yesterday. So if you're a single filer, there's no one else on your tax return. There is no dependents, which is they specifically mention, and you have no other refunds you requested on that 2020 return, you're getting the money first in the mailbox, in that envelope, or on a direct deposit if you have that listed on your card. The second half of phase two, we learned from IRS yesterday, are people who are single filers who did pay taxes, but maybe had something a little bit more complicated on their return, like a refund for something else or have dependents. And then finally, phase two is later this month, who are married couples, you're getting your refund. So how much money are you getting? Let me show you an example. If you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits, $5,000 your total tax bill to the IRS, $4,000 of which was taxes on your unemployment benefits, you're getting $4,000 back automatically in that stage. Phase one, part A, phase two, one, part B, and then phase two. You see the detail I go into in this channel. All right, now let's go to the big, exciting, great news about the children. If you're a single mom of a 5, 4, and 3-year-old, you're going to get $10,000 prorated starting the month of July. What's going on? The federal government is paying $3,600 to every child 5 to newborn and $3,000 every child from 70 to 6 prorated starting in the month of July if 2 events occur. Number 1, you make less than $75,000, and number 2, that IRS knows that child exists and is living with you, which brings us to the major tough love moment number 1. If you never file tax returns and you believe that IRS does not know those children exist and were with you, when July comes around, you will get 0 unless you file a tax return by the end of Monday. Personal tax returns are due by the end of this coming Monday, tomorrow. And if you don't file that tax return, you are getting absolutely 100% 0 on Monday if IRS has no way to otherwise know the child exists. There's no excuse to this. I even had someone in the live chat yesterday say non-filer filing tool. There is no non-filer filing tool. You can't call up IRS. You can't ask your friend. You can't tweet them. You can't go on their Facebook page. You can't send them a box of candy. You have to file the tax return if they don't know the child exists and lives with you. There's no way around it. Number 2. If you do file tax returns, but you never list that child, you got to get that tax return on file by the end of Monday. Here's an example. The child was just born in the last year, so IRS doesn't know the child exists. Or that the child was on someone else's tax return in the prior year. I have that example all the time. You got to get that tax return on file by the end of Monday, listing that child is yours. Number 3, that you made a lot of money in 2019, but took a bath in 2020, went down and you did not make enough money, you made very little money in 2020, guess what? You need to get that 2020 tax return on file. Why? Because IRS pays this money for the children based upon the last tax return they have on file. They'll look at 2019 and say, oh, you made too much money. We're not paying you that. That's why you got to get the 2020 tax return on file. Which brings me to the final major tough love moment. And yet, despite how many times I say this, I still get the comments. Yesterday on Afternoons LA, it said, my son and my husband haven't gotten their third stimulus check of $1,400. What do I do? Wow. This is why I'm making this message very loud and clear. And early on Mornings LA, someone said, I go to the IRS tool and track my IRS tool, and it says it was mailed March 26. I still not gotten it. What do I do? There is only one answer, and I can say it as many times, but I just hope people are listening. You must categorically 100% file a personal tax return by the end of Monday. If you're missing a first stimulus check, second stimulus check, third stimulus check, or a member of your household is missing a stimulus check, which brings me to a big focus point. Focus on me and look right at the camera, and this is where I want you to listen very carefully. If you make no money per year, you're not required to file a tax return. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, you're not required to file a tax return. But that's not what I'm talking about in this recording. If you see one of these items where you have to fix something, you categorically 100% have to file a tax return or you're not getting that money. And so if you're a mom of a 5 and 4 and 3-year-old and IRS does not know those children are with you, you will not get that money in July. And in July, you can't fix it. In June, you can't fix it. Moreover, yesterday, someone asked me, what if I do an extension? You can do an extension. You'll get the money, maybe the end of this year, maybe next year. If you extend something out 5-6 months, IRS will extend it out 8-10 months. You have to understand that they want the information now so they can do these things, which were already on a rush basis. So make sure you get that tax return on file by the end of Monday. And with that, there's also the volunteers who absolutely cannot help you with any tax advice, but can help you get rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also SNAP. And they're available at the community page, which is in the pinned comment of this video, news.la.com/community. Reach out to them. They can help you. And here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds with big news about your fourth stimulus check and big news about that additional add-on for benefits under the fifth stimulus package. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on mornings, early mornings, LALATE. Boy, it is an exciting day with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check and fifth stimulus package. And we're cutting back into those great details right now. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. What an achievement. I want you part of this family, the Purple Power family. Positivity, information, fun, education, and now profitability. Making a lot of money, viewers, this channel with our Bitcoin videos. So I want you to tune in and follow me for all the crypto investment, all the stimulus news, and everything more. There's a lot more programming coming, and you're going to be surprised by the new shows being added to this channel. So subscribe. Also, like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Fourth stimulus got some incredible news late last week. I'll be going over that in a second, but first, let me cut to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus absolutely shot it through the roof when we learned of a major breaking developing detail on Friday. What is fifth stimulus? It is that SSI and SSDI reform. Let me go over broadly the details of it first, and then I'll go over the details that happened on Friday. Shocking details. So then they're going to increase your benefit limits, remove the asset cap, add inflationary benchmark, then remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. But it's the inflationary benchmark that absolutely changed everything on Friday and could change your life like you've never seen it before. What's going on? Fifth stimulus will have this reform. Who's going to get this money and what is this money? Let me go over the details. First, you. It would be SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits. Your benefits would be raised up to a big new number. That would be your big new number. Then they would tie you to inflation. You got that. I've been detailing all the last few days. But over the last few days, I've been talking about what the Fed has been saying, 2.5% inflation, 3%, 4%, which would mean that your benefits would be raised up that percentage. Well, here's what's important to know, is that the way this works is they raise you up to that level, but they never drop you down. So let's say inflation this year is 4%. They raise you up an additional 4%. And then if next year it's 0, you stay the same. You don't drop down. It's a step up. There is never a step down. And that every year you either step up a little bit more or you stay the same. Pretty easy to follow. But then came this. Wow. On Friday, Jeremy Siegel, professor of Wharton School of Business, appeared on Broadcast News and spoke about inflation. And he is a leading economist and top investor, and he spoke about inflation. When asked, do you think, Jeremy, that the inflation rate will be 2.5% or 4% this year? He said, no way. Inflationary rate's going to be 20%. 20%? Yes, this is what would happen if the inflationary rate is 20% this year. Your benefits would step up based upon the fifth stimulus package that steps them up one time. But then at the end of the year, when they reassess your benefits based upon the inflationary benchmark, if Siegel's right and inflation at the end of this year is 20%, you would zoom up 20%. And guess what? You would never step down ever. That's how it works. So if the year after that, it goes up 3%, then you move up a little bit more. And the year after that, 0, you stay the same. If for 5 years it stays 0, you stay the same. You will always be up 20% at least for your existence on planet Earth. This is shocking if Siegel's correct. All right, let's now go to the other items of SSI reform. They're going to remove the asset cap, which dates back to a 1980s law that says you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand if you're a single beneficiary for some of you. Then they're going to remove the income cap, which says you can't work if you're on benefits. So if you want to work now, you could. You don't have to. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, $12,000, $24,000 a year you could make and still stay on benefits. It's incredible great news. And finally, They're going to remove the marriage penalty. Just jaw-dropping great news. The marriage penalty is incredibly important because love will win. More importantly, if you've been on benefits and suffer the marriage penalty, it would be gone. And if you wanted to get married but never could because you were afraid to lose benefits, as one viewer always details in the live chat, you wouldn't. You would now be able to marry your lifetime partner and consummate your vows and not lose benefits because of it. It's absolutely incredible great news. Which brings me now to the big great news about forced stimulus. And what's important to understand about forced stimulus is that this is like Jeremy Siegel's part of the video, where I have to slow it down because this one is also a little bit complicated. Fourth stimulus has unemployment stimulus potentially, and then stimulus checks. The great news that came out in the last 7 days is that Republicans and Democrats universally agree that stimulus checks are great instruments, but that unemployment stimulus needs to go away. Very, very fascinating. So let me explain what's going on. Democrats and Republicans agree that the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance are set to expire in September and should not be renewed. They do not believe renters' stimulus needs to be continued any further. That's item number one. Number two, when we talk about FPUC, PUA, and PEUC, almost all Democrats, but also all Republicans, especially Republican governors, think that unemployment assistance needs to stop. They disagree as to when, but they agree it needs to stop because they don't think it works anymore. But when we talk about stimulus checks, the same people think that stimulus checks do work. There are Republican governors out there that said this last week, we need to stop FPUC right away, but we will give our citizens of our state stimulus checks so that they're caught up on their bills. This is huge, great news because they understand that stimulus checks has a different idea to it than unemployment stimulus. The other big news that came this week was that the President of the United States did two major things that helps your forced stimulus checks. Item number one, he went out and said 5 different times, just get it done. He's speaking to his Democratic leadership, doing that 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process to get it done. Incredible, great news. And then it was the corporate tax rate. The corporate tax rate remains the only divisive potential issue in the Democrats getting it done. Remember, reconciliation process needs no Republican on hand to get it done, but that two-step, 2-bill process could have been derailed if the president had stayed at his corporate tax rate. His proposal was 28 to 29%. The current tax rate is 21%. The corporate tax rate proposed by the moderate Democrats was in between, and the president came in and said, done, deal. It's incredible, great news. And with that, with 24 hours to go, the tough love moment is really upon us. You know, when I started Tough Love about 4 or 5 days ago, I told you I was only going to say tough love for a little bit of time, up to the deadline. And that deadline ends Monday evening. A lot of tax preparers are open on the weekends. So this is Sunday. Do not presume that you have to reach out to a tax preparer on Monday. You can reach out to them today. Understand that when it comes to certain stimulus items, you need to do what is required of you. And if you don't, you won't get that stimulus check. So for that person who was watching yesterday's video and said she got a stimulus check, but her husband and son never got their third stimulus check, you have to be filing a 2020 tax return. For that person who said, but the child was on my ex-husband's tax return last year. Now I have custody. The children are with me. Do I have to file a tax return? Absolutely. IRS is going to send the check to the ex-husband. You're never going to see it. You got to get the tax. You got to get that on file. To the viewers who have followed my advice and got thousands of dollars, congratulations. To the people who followed my advice and got Snap and Rent and sent me the very nice messages on Facebook yesterday, congratulations. Understand, as the pandemic rears to an end, a lot of these items are going away. And I don't want you, after all the fighting that we've done, not get the money that was dedicated for you. Rent, utilities, homeowners assistance was dedicated for you. It was fought for you. We fought for it, and it's now available. And I don't want you to sit back in September and say, how can they evict me? There should be an eviction moratorium. No, there's available rent for you right now. Go get it. And with that, the great news is that forced stimulus is near the finish line, and I'm going to be back shortly on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon. So I look forward to seeing you. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. What a wonderful run it has been. And thank you for being embracing as this channel grows. Started with EIDL, moved into stimulus, moved into other subjects, covered everything from golf to tornadoes, and now moving into crypto. And guess where else we're going to move to? Can't wait for that. Even the purple flowers are ready for it. Thank you for the nice comments about them as well. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Cow, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. I'll see you on Mornings LALATE. Never lose hope, never feel negative, and never feel left out. You are always part of a wonderful family here on LALATE.